And our first piece here is Tom Brady. Again, he never seems to go away, even though he's quote-unquote retired. He's still in the news. Tom says he's super content. Says he's going to have a lot of key lime pie, relax, he's going to be on the beach. But Tom Brady doesn't sound like a man who's happy to me right now. And when you look at everything that's going on, all of his actions, it seems like someone who's a little restless, who's ready to come back eventually to the NFL. He's saying, I think he said something along the lines of, it would have to be, into training camp. We'll see how I feel. Sounds a little like Brett Favre. But when you saw him on Super Bowl Sunday, he had his phone notifications sent out. He has a great social media team. And it was like, oh, Tom's supposed to be playing today, isn't he? He said, never want to rule it out. On his Let's Go podcast, he credited the Rams and said, you really need to go all in to win this thing. And he liked that the Rams went after OBJ. They went after Matt Stafford, basically along the lines of, to win these things, you need to commit. It's really hard to win a Super Bowl. As we've said on the show, it's really hard just to make a conference championship game. And Brady knows you need to go all in. So maybe a little bit of a jab there at Tampa Bay. But guys, we've said this before. I said how I felt. I think he's going to come back. I think he will come back next season, and it'll just be on a different team. Would you guys agree with that?
Well, Paul, it's funny you say quote-unquote retired, considering Tom Brady has never said the word retirement in any of his announcements. I think he's put himself in a good position here. Reports have come out that there was a lot of friction between him and the Tampa Bay coaching staff. We saw issues over the Antonio Brown situation, issues over how the offense and defense were constructed, all of those problems. So by retiring, Tom Brady has very gracefully told the organization he doesn't want to play in Tampa Bay anymore. Now he's got some control back. Teams are aware that Tom Brady's interested in playing again, surely, and they'll be able to send offers to Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay can say, hey, look, Tom, the 49ers want to send us Jimmy Garoppolo in a third, the Raiders want to send us Derek Carr in a third, whatever, right? And then Brady gets to decide. So the Buccaneers have a chance to get something for nothing. Tom Brady gets a chance to get some control over where he goes, because don't forget he's under contract, so he can't just decide to go somewhere. And if he doesn't like the offers he gets, if he decides a few months later, I'm feeling old and beat up, he can just stay in retirement and no one's ever the wiser. So Tom Brady, unsurprisingly, is playing this situation really well. And it seems to me like he's at least interested in coming back to the NFL in the right situation of an elite defense with elite offensive weapons. But seem like the San Francisco 49ers, who he's wanted to play for so long.
His entire life, his childhood team. It's San Francisco to me. That's who I'm keeping an eye on.
I have to say, for once in a while, I completely agree with Ziggy. And it's not great for the show, but I can't disagree with him. I think Brady has made the right decision here. He's been preserving his body for the last 44 years in pristine condition. He can do it for another year. And the best part is he doesn't have to take any hits. He can take a year, just stay in shape, continue his regimen of eating dirt and gravel or whatever the hell he eats, and not take any hits. It's a smart decision. And
so you
like
think
Ziggy
he would?
says,
Do you think he would return next season, or are you saying that he would take a year off and then try and come back?
Oh, I don't think he has to return for the start of the season. I don't think that's.
I don't know. I would be surprised if he came in mid-season. That seems a little bizarre.
Well, if you think it's guaranteed he comes for the start of the season, I think his mindset in terms of negotiating power and where he ends up next season, I think that changes. And if what you're saying is true, then what Ziggy is saying, I don't know if it holds as much weight. So
I think it would be like Brett Favre. I think Brady would keep himself in excellent condition. Not that Favre, I'm sure Favre was, at bars on top of bars drinking Bud Light or something. But with Brady, I'd imagine he'll stay in great shape and then, roll around July or something like that. He'll come into a team or June maybe.
Do you think it's impossible though, the way that this man maintains
I
himself?
don't want to say impossible with anything.
Do you think it's impossible though that he waits longer than just this offseason?
Nothing's impossible with Tom Brady.
But I would be shocked.
I could see him taking a year off.
I could see a year off, but I would be shocked if he won't come in the middle of the season. It doesn't make sense to do that.
Tom Brady demands too much commitment, too much competitive drive, and too much organizational control to come in the middle of the season. But hey, if he takes a year off, let's not forget his best buddy, Rob Gronkowski, can give him the playbook on exactly how to play the situation.
Gronk said, and I think it was also Gronkowski who said he thinks Brady will come back in a couple of years. I doubt if he was gone for 2 years, I don't think he'd come back. The most I could see is 1 year off. But at the end of the day, do we all think he's coming back?
Yeah, no, real quick. I just want to touch upon this. I think Ziggy mentioned it in one of his last points earlier on, that when you step away from the game, like his body might be hurt, he might miss his kids, he might want to spend time with the wife and kids. After a year or so, you're like, I'm feeling good. I want to come back.
I'm so tired of my wife and kids.
Being a high level athlete like myself, when I stepped away from the game of fencing for that year, man, I was craving it. That next year, those next 2 years, I was like, man, I need to come back. I need to compete on that national level. That's what Brady's thinking. It's like Brady's going to be away for a year from the game, watching all those guys that he was beating, winning games. Someone's going to win a Super Bowl he knows he could beat. And it's like, man, I want to prove to the haters that I can come back and be my old self and win another Super Bowl at age 51. And it's like, he's going to come back. He's going to play for another couple more years, I think. Maybe like another 2. Whatever team he goes to. I think he can go back to the Bucs if everyone stays. He can go to the 49ers, even though I think Aaron Rodgers would fit best there.
Oh, but we don't even want to get started on that.
We will see.
The one thing we have to remember is this is football. If he takes a year off, that's a 45-year-old man who hasn't been hit.
Wait, just say that again. That's a 45-year-old man. That alone is absurd.
That's a 45-year-old man who wouldn't have been hit by a 300-pound monster in a year.
Just to be clear, Tom Brady turns 45 in August. He would be 46 if he takes a year off when he starts.
Well, exactly. Like, he's 4 years away from.
He's don't want to play when he's going to take a year off. He's don't want to play at like 47. He's literally he's going to come back.
Lots of people want to play football at age 47. There are very
but the thing is, I think he can.
It's insane.
That's my point, and I don't want to dabble on it too long, but we can praise him all we want and paint him as this mythical figure in football that is just ageless, but at face value, a 46-year-old man who hasn't stepped on a field, if he takes a year off, he might die. I'm not really sure it's.
To be fair, I think it's just as crazy to say 44-year-old man who's been taking hits for 21 seasons steps in and plays at an MVP level.
I think the year off. I think taking a year off and.
It depends how he approaches it.
I'm no doctor.
It depends how he would approach it.
But. No, I agree. I agree, but
Tom Brady already does all his own training. If he wants to keep himself in the exact same shape he's in now, he's got the discipline and ability to do it.
Yeah, no, I think because if we see him go, he's going on cruises, drinking pina coladas, eating key lime pie, then we know he's not coming back. Because we just know from a mental standpoint, the competitor that he is, he's not going to do that.
No, the thing is, it's like
he can't just come right back from doing that though. He's gonna have to be training. Yeah.
When you step away, you want to enjoy like that vacation life. Maybe you'll play a couple rounds of golf as key lime pie, as you were saying.
This is what you did, right? After stepping away from the Olympics.
Can we stop comparing Mike to Tom Brady? Can we cut that crap out?
Don't compare Tom Brady. Don't compare Tom Brady to me.
This is my Zoom. I can kick you out at any time.
Listen.
Real quick. Can I just go back to my point real quick?
Go finish. And then
he's gonna do all his things. He's gonna have fun. He's gonna vacation. But then he's going to start realizing like, man, I want to start competing again. And that goes back to my point. Like, then he'll train. He already knows how to play football. He already knows all the plays. It's just a matter of, does he want to commit to doing the diet for his body, to working out at the age he is right now? And I think he will be committed to that if he wants to come back.
Yeah. My point was, though, that this isn't basketball. This isn't soccer. This is football. If you take a year off, and again, I'm no doctor, and I didn't play in the National Football League. I didn't play collegiate football. And thank God I didn't play football in high school because the size I was, I may not be sitting here with you today. I may be sitting, but I may not have been able to get up. So my point is, he's not going to be taking, if he takes that year off, he's not going to be routinely taking hits. And it's not like, he had a good O-line. It's not like he was getting slammed every game. But I'm sure your body is naturally conditioned to take those hits. So when it happens, your body's used to it, and it doesn't automatically crumble or get injured each time it happens. When you take a year off at any age, you're going to feel it more the first time you get back. When you take a year off at 46, I imagine you feel it pretty rough when you come back. And that's my point. This is football. You can condition, you can diet, and you can work out as much as you want. But as soon as you step back on the field and get hit, you have a plan. It's like Mike Tyson said, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. So that's my point. He needs to, if he takes any time, like real time off, he may have issues.
Yeah, I mean, imagine a player taking a couple years off at a position where you hit a lot more than quarterback. Safety, right, where you're the one dishing out all the big hits, where you're taking the big blows. You take 2 years off and then immediately come back and play at a high level in the Super Bowl. That'd be impossible, right? No one could ever do that. There's no example of a player doing that this year. Eric Weddle is 39 right now. It's not like he's a spring chicken.
Yeah, but that's 10 years younger than Brady will be.
I just want to get... I don't know if anyone knows this on the Paul Farrington show, but Paul, didn't you actually play football back in the 4th grade wide receiver?
Yeah, we have a football player in our presence.
Paul, you played football in 4th grade. I would like to hear your opinion on this.
As a 3rd grade football player? Yeah, as a 3rd grade tight end. Well, and also, I guess a little quarterback experience. I was one of the final cuts for quarterback. Yeah, my body's never gotten back to what it was in 3rd grade. I was well-conditioned. Push-ups were easy. But then when I stepped away from the game, it's been 15 years since then.
But what if you came back right now?
I'd be horrible.
Just horrible. You don't think?
I'd break. I mean, people don't remember 3rd grade Paul. All right, Ziggy, great call. We're
this is
wrapping
garbage
this up.
content.